Leipzig, a German city a world away from the Moroccan hill of Jebel Irhoud. This city played a crucial role in the discovery of what many scientists call the oldest Homo sapiens fossils ever found. It's here where the Max Planck Institute for Evolutionary Anthropology is based. Dedicated wholly to investigating the history of humankind, the team who work at the Institute were heavily involved in the groundbreaking archaeological dig. Professor Jean-Jacques Oublin is director for the Department of Human Evolution.
The kind of technologies that are used in paleoanthropology have changed a lot in the last 20 years. We have all sorts of scientists working here, ranging from chemists to anthropologists to people doing brain science.
Down in the basement, Tobias Lauer makes his way to the thermoluminescence lab. Behind a heavy door sits the advanced dating technology used to calculate the age of the fossils found in Morocco.
Here we are in the machine room where we have our dating machines. We have 4 luminescence dating machines which we are using to finally determine our ages for the archaeological sites we are investigating.
At Jebel Irhoud, the archaeologists found stone tools which had been burnt with fire. Using thermoluminescence technology, they were able to work out when the artifact was heated.
In very simple words, if you have a strong light emission, you have an old artifact. If you only have a very low light emission, you have a young artifact. So we are putting our prepared sample material onto steel discs, and on our sampling wheels we have 48 positions, and then we put the sample wheel onto the reader, and then each alico is going through different cycles of first of all of heating, light stimulation, radioactive irradiation. Normally you have an error range of about 10%. It means if you get an age of around, let's say, 300,000 years, it means that you have plus minus 30,000.
Apart from innovative dating techniques, sophisticated CT scans can create virtual avatars.
This is a cast from a mandible of an adult specimen from Jebel Irhoud. We call it Irhoud 11. It's number 11 of specimens. And here I set it inside our CT scanner. Well, the principles is quite similar from a CT scanner in an hospital, but there are some differences. And one difference is that it's much slower. But the intensity of the radiation is much higher, and we can make very high resolution pictures.
As the disc begins to spin, hundreds of X-rays are taken over a few hours to create 2D slices. The original mandible that was scanned resulted in 730 of these slices.
We pile up all these 2D pictures to construct a 3D model. And the 3D model, it's something like this. So here we have the raw data that we have piled up. At this stage, what we do is that we correct for the displacement of fragments, the breakage. We can also correct some distortions. And importantly, we can add pieces that has been found separately from the mandible. In the end, we can get a rather complete model of what the mandible was originally.
With the few key fragments found in Morocco, the team at the Institute tried to get a better understanding of what our ancestors looked like and how they behaved.
It's like a big puzzle that we have to put together to reconstruct not just the anatomy of these humans, but also their lifestyle, their activities. The face of these people is a face like my face. It's the face of somebody you could cross in the street today. In the meantime, they still have primitive features, and the brain inside is big, but it's different in morphology of what we have today. And we suspect not just in morphology, but also in the kind of wiring of the brain.
What we see after Jebel Irhoud is the addition of different kinds of other activities like manufacturing beads and bone tools and the use of pigments that suggest that people are developing into what we would call modern Homo sapiens, people like you and me. And we don't see so much of that at 300,000 years ago, but it's that we think that this change that we do see then laid that foundation that then developed over the hundreds of thousands of years after that.
At a certain point, humans achieve a certain level of intelligence, a certain level of mastery, and this particular mastery coincides with the emergence of Homo sapiens.
One other clue the fossils provide relates to where we came from.
The general consensus, I would say, until recently, was that something very close to humans of today emerged in Africa about 200,000 years ago, in a rather restricted area, a sort of Garden of Eden, in sub-Saharan Africa, probably in East Africa. So the big breakthrough with Jebel Irhoud was that we found out that in a place that is very far away from East Africa or South Africa, we have something that we can connect to our origins that is much older than 200,000. If there is a Garden of Eden in Africa, this Garden of Eden has the size of the continent.
Northwest Africa has really good sites as well, and has been sort of left out of the story up till now. We knew that if we went back there, we had a good chance of finding new fossils, and we did in fact, and then we were able to provide a date to these fossils and integrate them into the larger story of what's happening in Africa during this time period.
Piecing together the past requires persistence, patience, and sometimes an element of luck. The accidental discovery of fossils in a remote part of Morocco back in the 1960s has changed the story of human evolution and placed North Africa into the debate about the origin of our species. Some answers may have been found, other questions remain. But with plans to do more digging at Jebel Irhoud, this could be just the beginning of Africa's ability to make us rethink our past.
Science is a sort of perpetual reworking of our knowledge, and research is basically trying to clarify things and provide new evidence. So the tree of hominins is a picture that's a bit fuzzy, and there are many parts which are invisible. And so what we're doing is that we're completing this picture. So it's like adding pieces in a puzzle or having a picture that is more in focus. And I think with Jebel Irhoud, we touch an essential branch of this tree because it's our branch, it's a branch of our species.